truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, still unfriend me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's new.
Real important message here. If you haven't checked it out yet, you absolutely have to. There is this podcast that I'm sure some of you have seen me on. It's phenomenal. It's called The Dumb Show or The Don't Unfriend Me Show. You can find them on all social media at The Dumb Show or visit thedumbshow.com. Listen to their podcast. Absolutely perfect with host Matthew Spear.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. I feel like we've been gone for
a while. Oh, it's me. Sorry.
I was wondering who was on. I was like, somebody's.
It's me. Facebook doesn't automatically mute anymore for some reason.
It's okay. Well, yeah, it feels like we haven't been on for a while. That's like the longest all year that it's been. I mean, because we took that Friday off, and then Thursday we were Christmas Eve, but we were off Christmas Day, and then that Friday, and then the weekend. So it's been it was. I don't know. Would you put that up in the top? I don't know what for most enjoyable weekends in a while.
It was definitely enjoyable. I did nothing. I think my body was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
After Christmas Day, we chilled and we went out to dinner, and then Thursday, it was like my body was like, okay. And I thought I was getting sick, and I just felt exhausted. So I did nothing.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, we're going to go and spruce up the house for the new year and do a few things around the house.
Yeah. Just some spring cleaning, if you will. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Got a lot to cover tonight, and I don't know what happened to my video for this cell, and I only have 8 seconds to find it. So it looks like it'll have to be a tomorrow instead. Oh,
did you find it?
Yeah, but it's there now, but I just got to fix it. That's better than nothing. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Listen, if you have not had a chance, please, we need this more than ever. We need you to share, like, and subscribe on all channels, please. We would appreciate it if you could do it on Facebook and on Rumble and X and YouTube and everywhere else. It would help us out tremendously as we are. This is the next 2 or 3 days are the slowest of the year, and then 2 of the busiest are coming in January and February. Now, Facebook will be slow, Twitter will be full, but like our 2 greatest donation months last year were January and February, which was incredible.
Yep.
And I think the reason why is I think people recognize that it was slow, and Christmas goal was kind of where they got it, and they were good and ready to go into the new year. So would love if you guys would do that for us, to share, like, and subscribe. Also, we're a donation-based show, so you help keep us on air, just like PBS, but instead of stealing your money and giving you lies and propaganda, we go ahead and tell you the truth. Yes. So welcome. We've got quite a few over coming in on Rumble, which is nice to see, and Facebook is still a slow crawl. We'll see if we can get that number up. Okay, so kind of a lot happened over the holiday there, Livy.
Yeah.
It's kind of a busy busy
news.
I guess.
Busy stuff?
Just a lot of busy stuff. Nothing super important, but important enough to go ahead and talk about, I guess. So we'll dive into it. Now, some of it is like the Somali thing. And I wanted to figure out about Minnesota because, first of all, this is something that's going to be happening all over the United States. And this is fraud. And I don't think people understand how much $37 trillion truly is. It's
hard to fathom what that is because...
Well, let's do the math. Let's get ChatGPT out here and let's ask it, if you have $37 trillion and you have 332 million people, how much is that per person? This will blow you away. What's it say? So you have 37.
Not as fast on a phone.
It's okay.
As I am on the
37
keyboard.
$37 trillion, 332 million people. What's the total?
111,446 is what it's coming up with.
Can you imagine?
Right.
That is correct. That is correct. That is correct. Because the ownership of the debt right now, that is what every American owes. Unfortunately, only about half of those people pay taxes.
So we double that. So we owe 222,000.
It's about 275 now. And that do you believe that the government has provided $275,000 of well, we could say equity. You can't say equity, diversion, inclusion, and shit because it's not real. But equity from a financial term it's basically the amount of money that comes in and minus principal, minus overall the dividend of return and return on investment. So have you felt that $275,000 in the last 20 years, the United States government has provided in your life?
I can unequivocally say no.
Yeah, no. Because the only thing the government does for us is take our money. Now, they can say, well, they provide defense. Okay, all right, they provide defense. So is that worth $275,000 for every American? If every single American gave $1, it's $323 million, $332 million. If every American gave $10, it's $3.2 billion. If they gave 100, you can do 32. You can do the math. They have to give $111,000 in order to hit the $37 trillion that were there. So does it really make sense that the government is truly spending our money properly without waste?
No.
I mean, I don't need to be an accountant. Like you and I can look. I've looked at our bank account. I'm like, we're doing something wrong. Yeah, we've been there together and we've done that, right? And you're like, no, it's right. I'm like, no, there's something wrong. And usually when I get that gut, there is something wrong. I can look at the U.S. government. Can you imagine if we took in $32,000 a year and we somehow spent $3.2 million? Can you imagine? This is what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be fraud somewhere because if I've got 7 things in front of me, some of them are planes and some of them are roadways and some of them are, let's give money to the Jews, let's give money to Qatar, let's give money to UA. Okay, and all those things are in front of me. And I okay, what do those equal? Okay, those equal $330 billion. And UN's government goes, okay, well, let's see. So far revenue, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here's your money. And they're like, no. We actually need 1.2 trillion. And they're like, what do you mean? The 7 things are supposed to cost 330 billion. And they're like, well, it didn't. Oh, well, let's just print more money. So you print more money because we're not on the petrodollar. We're not on the gold standard. We're not on the silver certificate. We have, there's no commodity for our dollar. Essentially, it's just air. It's digital ones and zeros. We're not even on the petrodollar anymore. We're not even tied to oil. Our money is based on the printing press. That's all it is. It is an IOU. Every dollar that we have, every dollar you own and I own is an IOU. It's worthless. It's worth nothing. Meteor hits tomorrow. Nothing. They're not going to deliver 100,000 barrels of oil to us. They're not going to give us, a wheelbarrow full of gold. There's going to be no silver. We get nothing because it's all fake. So this is the situation we're in. So when you look at this and you go, okay, now I can imagine how much $37 trillion is. There has to be fraud. There has to be. There's no other way around it, because we know the government isn't spending what they've budgeted for because there is no budget. So we know they're going over. So if you have a list of these 7 things, but you wind up buying 26 and going over by a few $100 billion, then someone has to say why. Because what would happen if you did that or I did that? What would happen?
We would get in trouble.
Go bankrupt.
Yeah. I mean, if we don't pay our taxes, they come after us.
That's right. So the U.S. government, if we are to look at it like a household, is essentially living in the 4-story house with a full ranch and horses and the big lake that we drive by and we love so much. They're living in that. But everyone else is living in a shanty, and they are just spending. And we're over here going, what are we spending this on? And I love the house and I love the horses and I love the lake, but that right there is $3.5 million, but you're spending $15 billion. Where's that money going? Why is this town and municipality giving this person, the mayor, whatever it is of the town, why are they giving him that lap of luxury? So at some point we have to ask ourselves why. So this is a 45-minute video, and I think we're going to have to play it, because this has been seen 130 million times. To give you some perspective, the Don't Unfriend Me show has been around for 5 years. The biggest thing we had go viral was 36 million views.
Have we had in all of our stuff 130 million views on everything combined?
Oh, easily. Okay. Oh, yeah. We're in the billions. Like, combined views, we're well into the billions. You know, if you just took all of our views, original views, that's impossible to be a billion.
Yeah.
Nobody's at, well, maybe. I don't think. Like, a movie trailer has a really good chance to do it. But this is the #1 most viral video. It's ranked #4 at 130 million. So that shows you right there. That's unique views.
The most popular video that has been watched more times than any other video on YouTube is
the video you made in high school or college?
No.
Oh, that was good.
We'd be living on an island somewhere if that was the case. Baby Shark.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Is that #1, Baby Shark?
Yeah, it's over 2 billion now.
But that's not unique views. See, there's a very big difference between unique.
Probably 400 of them are mine because I've watched it so many
I
times.
respect that completely, but it's hard for me to fathom that 2 billion people have seen. It doesn't matter. That's possible.
Well, I mean, if you count every view, every day at the daycare, I went to it.
That's not a unique view. Once you've watched it, you're one.
Okay. I don't know if it's. I don't know how to tell if it's a unique view.
I will tell you. During the breakup of the panels of social media, you can look at unique views and you can look at combined views. So when somebody says views on Facebook, 36 million people have seen it. That's unique. But your views are broken up into organic and follower traffic. Followers will never be unique views because they've seen your stuff before. You understand?
Unique is someone who's never seen it. It's the first time watching it.
Correct. So when you look on Facebook and look total views 36 million, those aren't uniques. Those are uniques with followers, non-followers, and people who've watched it multiple times. This 130 million is also the same thing. It's not unique views. But I'd be interested to find out. I would be interested to find out. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's at 16 billion.
What, Baby Shark?
Baby Shark's at 16
but
billion.
that's not unique. That's combined.
Yeah, it's also been on for 9 years.
It's just like the Don't Unfriend Me show's been seen billions of times, but it hasn't been seen by a billion people.
Yeah, no.
So it's been, like we average a month 50 to 125 million interactions and views. So we're well over billion. Well over. We're probably closer to 5 billion than we aren't. So here's the point. I think what we're going to do is at the top of the hour, I'm going to show this video. And have you guys had a chance to see it? Who's seen it? Who hasn't? Evening, Darla. Who's seen it? Who hasn't seen it? This is the Nick. What is it? It's Farley? No, what's his name?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. I think it's Nick Farley. Oh,
I haven't seen it.
No, I know, but we had a thing. We had a bookmark on it. Let me find it. So it's about the Somalis living in Minnesota, and it covers specifically the corruption that's taking place in the daycare centers. I mean, this is huge. Yeah. And I've got the full video, and if something's been seen 130 million times, we should probably watch it. Nick Shirley is his name.
Shirley, okay.
And Shirley, you must stop calling me Shirley. Shirley, you can't be serious. I am serious, and stop calling me Shirley.
Roger.
Is Facebook not on tonight?
Yes, Facebook is on.
Facebook's on. Joanne Townsend, thank you for your donation coming. I see it. Nope, Facebook's on. Just do it. Just all you gotta do is go to my profile, hit refresh, and click on the live button. So, okay, I've got one person. Has everyone seen it? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I think it's important enough to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so.
And it's 130 million views, and it's interesting. So we're going to start off with that. This will take us to the 8 o'clock hour. Folks, the one thing we have to promise is we've had a lot of time off this month, because with plays and it's holiday season, so we want to try to hit goal. But the problem is when we do this, we usually get...
Thank you, Joanne.
We get distracted. Thank you, Joanne. Love you. We get distracted, so we want to continue to try to hit goal. This is going to take us to the 8 o'clock hour, and we have a bunch to cover tonight. So with no further ado, I want to give credit where credit's due. You can actually go to Nick Shirley with 2 Y's and follow him. It seems like a lot of people have watched it, but there's a lot of people who have not seen it.
I've seen a lot of watched part of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, it's 42 minutes. I think we should watch it because this is something I will tell you. There's a catalyst coming. And I believe that the level of corruption inside this government is so extensive. And I don't even know if it's the United States government more than it's the people. And we saw this with COVID, and there was just hardly any. I mean, hardly any moments of accountability that I saw. And that frustrates me. So we're going to watch this 45 minutes. It's going to take us to 8 o'clock, and then we're going to do a power hour. So if you have not had a chance to donate to the show, please do while we're watching this together. We're going to put it on, and we're going to watch this together. If you have questions or comments, I'm going to try not to talk in it, which is impossible for me, but I'm going to do it because we are on a tight schedule. So this is Nick Shirley, SHIRLEYY, at Nick Shirley on Twitter. You can find him. This is his video. It's been seen 130 million times. And we are going to go ahead and show it to you now. Here we go.
Fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on?
1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building. Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enrich themselves all at the US taxpayers' expense. And in this video we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has seen the fraud firsthand. His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked. How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these childcare centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation, contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali-owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided.
Thank you, Brian,
All
so
they
much.
did was
Appreciate
write
it.
the check.
Mr. Moody, thank you. $21.10. Thanks for keeping the lights on.
How are you getting all this information about the fraud?
A lot of it is through my own research. And then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years. And so the data that I'm getting is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by people at the state Capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a childcare not far from here in Minneapolis that has two childcares listed at the same address, and together they're licensed.
Brian, we'll take care of that from now on. Sorry, Bubba.
120 children.
Blame Olivia.
I have never seen a single child there ever, and I've been by that place at least 100 times.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never had any of them. They're all fraught with violence.
Brian, that was my fault completely. I very much apologize. I didn't know that. So Olivia handles that from now on. So she corrected me post haste.
Violations. And even though they have these violations, there's still an operation and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money? And where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money, so it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing is you have daycare, so you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation, and a lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
And
So one of the comments that was just made, which is really important, James says, anybody else noticing pro-Somali postings and chat shows like the White House page and RSPN? Yes. And this is the same thing that we saw on X when it came to the Jews, is you saw all these accounts start pulling up by the millions, promoting people like Nick Fuentes and Jake Shields and Stu Peters and Candace Owens and Tucker. And you saw all this because, folks, there are billions of Muslims in the world. You just need to understand it. And so you're going to see that there's going to be a push by the bots and by the people who are crawling and doom scrolling to facilitate false outrage over this. And you're already starting to see the media take this as well. We'll talk a little bit about it after we watch this.
the government knows about this.
The government knows they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there just writing the checks. What has happened is that the Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe. And they're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand. This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud. And they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go on and just not worry about it. Tim Walz saying there's organized crime in Minnesota. What did he do about it? Nothing. You got organized crime? What are you doing? This is the Minnesota law, which mandates that anyone who knows of fraud and is a state employee must report that fraud. It's Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Not only that, but Walz is also guilty of misconduct of a public employee. When I look at the world as a whole and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history, anywhere.
We're going to go confront these people. We're going to go to these daycare centers. We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful because these people are very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much fraud we could uncover in one afternoon. Where are we going now?
We're going to a place called Mako Child Care, which actually has another child care registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
So we should see lots of children if there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those vans have moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020, one of them received $1.3 million. In 2021, they got $987,000.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Robert. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on.
The last I have for that one, and then the other one, $1.604 million in fiscal year 2025. Fiscal year 2024, they got about $800,000, and in fiscal year 2023, they got $904,059.
My God.
This place right here. Yes.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually two daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility that you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
Now, there are people who are like, Democrats are like, oh, of course he goes in the middle of Christmas. No, jackholes. It was released during Christmas. So even during Christmas, people use daycare up until like Christmas Eve. Olivia was working until right before Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we only had like 5 days off a year, but we worked on New Year's Eve. We were open on Christmas Eve. So
Right.
some daycares are open.
Right.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in. And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell? Yeah. Try to get in, ring the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There would be maybe like a playground or something outside, or...
There's no play area for the kids. So where are the kids? Where's anybody? How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here. In 9 years, I've never seen a single child at this building. Right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somalis coming through.
Yeah, they're coming. The word's out.
Hello, is this your daycare?
No. Can you tell us why there are no children? Have you ever seen children at this child care center?
Doesn't know if she's ever seen a child here. All right, let's go to the next location. Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one, in fiscal year 2025, $1,042,059. In fiscal year 2024, $1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next one is literally 1 block away, and this one's also generated nearly $3 million in the past 3 years. Let's see if there's any children. Let's see if any of the buildings are open. Here we go. All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. Let's see if anybody is here. This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy about this is that last daycare center is that green building right there. And the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars. I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door. Hello? Can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare. Why? Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare. And after a few questions, the lady went silent. Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here. And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Child Care.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which says it's licensed for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million.
So I just want to let you guys know something. First of all, go ahead, Livy.
Thank you, Angela. All I can do, wish I could do more. Nope, that's perfect. We appreciate all of it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Angela. Listen, anything helps, and we appreciate you doing that. We know you never have to apologize. So I am looking into something else on this, of where, if these companies, who they donate to, and I can check that against the FEC. And a lot of these daycare companies are actually donating to local politicians, from the Senate level all the way to House, along with mayoral and city council seats and other things. So what you're seeing is that the United States government is giving money and almost laundering it to these fake businesses, and then that money makes it back into politicians' pockets through donations. This is ugly. This is when revolts happen. This is when people rise up against Maduro in Venezuela and decide to go ahead and bring pitchforks and torches. This is what happens when you go after Count Dracula, when villagers keep popping up missing with holes in their necks. I mean,
what daycare needs over $1 million a year to operate?
Well, it depends on the size of the daycare.
Yep, 40 kids, $1.26 million.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's insane. You don't need that much money to run a daycare. No. Even if your rent is $10,000, $15,000 a month, you're still not going to need over $1 million to run a daycare.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, Markey says, what are companies even paying reporters for? Someone should just fund this dude instead of, well, first of all, this guy he made a cool $100,000 at least in ads revenue on this video. I'm just letting you know. I mean, he 130 million. The most we ever made on a 36 million was $12,000. But every time you put another million on that, it like doubles. I mean, 130 million. That made this guy a cool $100,000 in ad revenue at least. So there's that, and then there's plenty of other people who are offering and helping him too. So there's a lot of conservative votes. I know Brandon Tatum reached out to him. So this guy, you know, he had a video on Ukraine that was a little bit much. But this so far is pretty epic. Let's continue to watch. But I've got some other stuff in regards to donations that were given to Democrat members.
Tax money. And there are no kids, and all the facilities are the same way, all of them.
Let's see if anyone opens.
Yeah, let's see.
Once again, I try to find a spot for my son Joey, and they would not open the door. I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Cuz I need a spot to put my son Joey.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
No, I work there. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah?
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there.
How many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You worked here. Okay, well, then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
My son. No! You're a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain you everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of your curry.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
But
no.
You said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist. So right now, they're all getting mad because he's shown the paperwork of this business being registered as a business. 74 children, no children. We saw one child when the lady opened up the door. But now they're all getting mad.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking for the owner if you're telling me to talk to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing? It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I think we're moving on to the next location. Have a good day. As we continue to show the blatant fraud that was taking place here in Minnesota, Somalis started following us around the city. And now we're being followed by the Somalis. This is another daycare center, absolutely no signage, and there's no footprints in the snow.
This same thing happens in trade quarters in Middle Eastern countries all over the world. Is that if you're doing trading overseas and you're in a Muslim country and you get labeled or you're in an area that you're not supposed to be in, you will be summarily forced out by roving gangs and groups of people. But worse than that, as I had a couple friends of mine got just absolutely manhandled and beaten the shit out of. And this is the way they run these territories. And there is no police. It's absolutely run by these gangs. This is in Mogadishu. This is in Djibouti. This is in Somalia. This is pretty much anywhere North Africa. Is that you get this type of treatment. This is what they've done. They've taken over this, and you see that these guys are following him. This is pure intimidation to force him out of the neighborhood, and to be physically accosted if he doesn't. I told you I'd get you some information that I was researching. It looks like multiple people are into this now, but here's one of these daycares, donations to Act Blue. And you can see this is spread out over each week, like weekly contributions, like a payroll, where this money comes through. And several of these that were listed, here's Atomic Daycare. And you can see $30, $15 donated to Act Blue. There's thousands of pages of this stuff where a lot of these daycares are taking the money that they get from the United States government and then funding Democrat politicians and donating to them, which would appear to be money laundering. Because that's what money laundering is. You take it through a private equity, you take it through a nonprofit, you put it into a business, private business, and transfer that money as income, and then ultimately redistribute it from purchasing goods or redistributing it to the customer and taking new money in, which cleans money. Now that's a little bit different than this type of laundering. This is just book laundering. This is shifting money from one place to another to have it be cyclical and come back and loop back. This is a direct way that's controlled with campaign contributions. And although you can't give somebody, $100,000 unless it's a political action committee, that's a super PAC, but that's going to draw attention. But $5, $25, $50 at a time is not going to make a big deal. And if you have hundreds of thousands of these donations, can you imagine the volume of money coming into this? So this is something we're going to continue to cover. The citizens, let the FBI take care of it. Let the Department of Treasury take care of it. I want the politicians. I want people like Tim Walz in handcuffs. I want these people arrested, because two things can not be true at the same time. Either Tim Walz knew about this and did absolutely nothing, or he knew absolutely nothing. And both of those are criminal. So he's either inept or he's complicit. There's no other equation here. Either you didn't know it was taking place or you chose to ignore it, and that's the issue that I have. Anyway, we'll bring more with the donations to politicians and the money going in Act Blue.
Of children playing outside. $5 million within the past 2
million in 2 years. 5.9 million they received in 2 years. That facility right there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now. From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells Quality Leering Center on the outside of their sign.
I'd love to go leering.
That's how blatant this fraud is here at this daycare. Don't open up! So this is Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open up!
They said they spelt learning wrong.
Here. Don't open up!
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up! We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children?
Don't open up!
And getting $4 million over
Don't open up! It's ice!
$4 million.
Ice.
Fucking stupid people. I can't stand these fucking liberal white women, dude. I'm so sick of them.
Go get a life.
Oh my God.
Don't
open up. It's ice. Everything's ice.
The last 2 years.
Go away!
What do you think about that? Are you in favor?
Away!
Are you in favor of that?
Go away! You're not welcome here. Shame on you.
Are you in favor of $1.9 million going illegally, fraudulently to this business that has Quality Learning Center but can't even spell learning right on the door?
Don't open up!
You should give him a call.
We are not ICE.
You know
I
what?
don't care who you are. You don't belong.
That's a great idea. Let's call him. Oh, here we can use our. Let's see what it says. I want to bet. I'll 10-1.
Although
disconnected. Come on, let's bet betting odds. Which one? You think?
Yeah. Let's try it.
You say disconnected?
Yeah.
All right, let's find out. Read it off to me, please.
612-702-4012.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
All right, it should be fun. Let's listen.
Please leave your message for 612-702-4012. Sorry, mailbox is full. To send an SMS notification, press 5.
Well, there it is. There it is. Got the phone number. Let's listen.
Here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up. It's ice.
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children right here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a child daycare center.
99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP.
Don't open appetite.
You know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away?
Can you imagine?
Where are the children?
How stupid can you be that if you're defending this, you see it says Leering Center. You've got two people who are videoing. They've got receipts that are off of government websites. There's no kids. There's nobody there. You can't talk to liberals. They're literally retarded. I remember, don't unfriend me show. We can agree. We can disagree. Just don't unfriend me. No, we cannot. No longer. You're just retarded. How do you not understand what's taking place? Well, isn't there an inquisitive button that just itches a little bit? No, because hate Trump is more important. Gotta hate Trump. I open up, it's ice. Everything's ice.
This is state of Minnesota. Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirley.
Ice.
Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah, so who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
This lady, she's calling us ICE. We're just trying to put law and order back in the streets of the United States. Get rid of all the fraud. Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Where?
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child, you've never seen daycare.
I haven't seen anybody in there.
We're going to educate you on something. So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelled learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
Children.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None at all. None.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know where are the kids?
Right.
Where are the children?
I don't see them. I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like that
Never
here.
seen a child here.
No, not at all.
And so you've never seen a child here for 8 years?
Nope, not at all.
And how does that make you feel knowing that this place is receiving $1.9 million?
It's disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant, too. That's, if they get caught for that, it's a federal offense. I know, I studied law.
And do you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? What the heck yeah. He's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason what's going on here. It's simple. It's nothing there. It's a parking lot.
And look, they even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place that's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy. I mean, who runs it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians.
Oh my God. Well, where? Yeah, it's just. I've never seen nobody here at all.
So how long have you been living here?
Since 2017. 2018.
You've never seen a single child walk in that building?
No, not at all.
So this big daycare center is literally just a place to traffic money. $1.9 million.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
During COVID, if you had more than 6 people in your restaurant, the government shut you down and suspended your business for 120 days. Like that. You didn't wear a mask, you had the police called on you. You couldn't go and get food. You couldn't go and get a haircut. You could do nothing unless you complied. But this shit, even if they do have kids there, the fact that it says 99 and there's no cars, there's no children, there's no employees.
There's no playground.
There's nothing. It's insanity. And this is so deep and so rampant. And I'll be honest with you, even if Nick Shirley is wrong, see, this is what Candace Owens doesn't understand. This is what reporting looks like. See, what he's doing is that this is called the 100,000 foot look. And you get a satellite look at a problem. And this is what a lot of DMs and executives will do. It's what I did for years, is you'll get a number on your KPI report, your key performance indicators. And you'll see that your conversion's down in the mall. In your standalones, in your leased centers, your conversion's 21%. But in your malls, it's 12%. The reason why is there's more people coming in a mall that are looking, and they walk into your store and to looky-loo, and your conversion's going to be lower because they're not shopping for you. But there are times when you will see that 12% will drop down to 2 or 3, and you're like, wait a second, something's wrong. 9 times out of 10, it's the counter that's wrong. And you'll hear store managers be like, dude, the counter's wrong. I'm telling you. And you're like, yeah, whatever. Just get your conversion up. You're not selling. So you go and you have that 100,000-foot look, and you can go in and fire everybody, or you can investigate the problem. Now, what Candace does is she gets a 100,000-foot look, and then she goes, everyone's fired. And that's not how you run a business. You have to go to your store and go watch it during its peak times and non-peak times, and you have to manually count the door. And if the counter doesn't match your manual count, then you know it's a counter issue, and you save your manager and you save the store. You don't write everyone up, lower morale, and destroy and nuke it. You investigate. And in that investigation, you might find out that somebody's pocketing money in the register. You might find that somebody's like shipping stuff out the back door. But at that time, you don't make those accusations based upon the information that you got, which was incorrect. That's how probable cause works. This is the difference between Candace Owens and Nick Shirley. Nick sees a report on the government website and goes, this doesn't look right. Something's hinky. Something's rotten in Denmark. It doesn't pass the sniff test. So he goes out and starts asking questions. This is how you ask questions. Informed questions. Not Candace Owens, which is literally throwing everything at the wall, hoping something sticks. That's the difference. You want to chime in on that? Awesome.
Yeah. No.
$71.10, folks. Thank you. Angela Hills was our last donation. We're looking for 300 tonight. We're going to keep playing this. This is actually great. I'm getting fired up.
Just this year alone. And this guy's been living here for 8 years and has never seen a single child walk through those doors. There's no windows either.
No.
And the only window they do have, the door, is blacked out.
Yep, I see that. I've never seen anybody go in there.
Pause.
Within just a few hours, we nearly...
That's against code right there.
Tell me.
Child care centers have to have multiple exits. They have to have windows.
Fire code.
In every single room.
Fire
it's a fire code.
That's right.
And you can have the doors locked during business hours, but there has to be a way for parents to get in to get their child.
Got it.
So visitors would have to wait to be buzzed in or let in, but parents had to, there was a keypad.
Got it.
And to get in, but we had to have multiple exits. Every classroom had to have windows. We had every classroom actually had a door leading out to the outside. So we had a fire exit outside, right inside our classroom, so we could get out. Oh, you're putting that up.
Can I say something? You're aging. You look older in 2023.
Oh, really?
You're aging in reverse. And so's Hayden. You both have the same genes. You both look so damn young. And listen, I don't look old. I'm sorry, I don't. So she's got our genes. So she's going to look perpetually 14 for the rest of her life.
I just love that she's doing the duck face in both pictures. And
yeah.
I still can't do it, so...
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, all of these daycares are completely out of code.
Yeah. All right.
Completely out of code.
All right, let's keep going. We got a lot to watch. If this is all we do tonight,
$20 million in fraud, and we headed over to George Floyd's neighborhood to expose more of the fraud taking place.
This place is called Future Leaders Early Learning Center, and it's licensed for 90 children. And in fiscal year 2025, they received $3.6 million. In fiscal year 2024, they received $3 million. So in 2 years, they got $6.67 million.
My God.
Claiming they have 90 children every day of the week, 5 days a week. So let's
these
find
people
out.
are making just about more money than NBA athletes.
And we don't even know if they're paying taxes, but we don't know where
Thanks,
this
JD.
money is
Thank
going.
you, JD.
Great show, guys. We are luring a
Terrorism
lot.
We are luring a lot. Leering a
theft,
lot.
It's fraud. And
thank you, JD.
the reason I'm involved is I want it to stop. I care about Minnesota. I'm doing this for the people of Minnesota. I don't make a dime off all this time I've spent on this. I put my life at risk several times, but I'm determined to see this through and to correct what is wrong, what is evil.
Here at Future Leaders Early Learning Center, this building received over $3 million. Hello, how are you? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son little Joey here. Is there paperwork or can I check out the daycare? No? Why can't I check out the daycare?
It's not here.
Okay, but if I can't get paperwork or anything to submit my son, little Joey, to come in here to daycare? We'd really like to put Joey in this daycare. We've heard great things.
Business card?
No, I would like your business card, actually.
You talk to your manager.
Okay, can I speak with somebody? Where are the children at? Are there children here today?
No.
No children?
Yes.
Why are there no children?
Two of Mexico.
Would my son, little Joey, have friends to play with here?
No.
No.
Yes.
No friends for little Joey?
Yes.
Dang it. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
So, little Joey would not be accepted to that daycare.
Joey's still homeless.
Joey's still looking for daycare. And because little Joey couldn't get...
Thank you, Thomas Austin, $51.99. If the thief is caught, he shall pay sevenfold, but shall give all the substance of his house. Proverbs 6, chapter 6, Proverb 31. Interesting. Verse 31. Sorry. Okay.
Into a daycare.
Thank you very much, Thomas.
We went to an autism center, as they have been popping up everywhere as a rise of autism has occurred here in Minnesota because of the government funds that they are receiving. I tried to check my son Joey into an autism center. We've been going to a lot of these daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey, but we thought maybe we could check him into the autism center because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, so you don't really know?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about like the fraud that's been labeled on the autism centers here? What do you guys do think about the fraud, or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer.
What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here, because there's...
So why are you asking us about
the fraud? Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot. Yeah. But that's our number on you. I can call it. But this is we can't let you guys in. So.
Okay, thank you. So once again, little Joey, he can't even go to daycare, and now they won't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids. Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve.
After being able to provide no evidence of them actually being an autism center in a place where a child could go, they shut the door and we headed to the next.
You know what I want to see? I want to see the person who contradicts this information. I want to see the person who goes in there with a mind of that it's Nick Shirley who's the problem, and that these centers truly are legit and on the up and up. And he picked a weekend, or he picked a holiday, or whatever. Maybe this is Black Friday. Maybe it's Thanksgiving. I'm not saying any of that's true, but I would love to see all these people who are saying this is fake and it's not real and this is just cherry picking and whatever. Please go prove him wrong. Go to each one of these centers and block out the faces of the children. Show the registration. Talk to some of the parents off property. Make phone calls. Do some investigative reporting and try to prove this wrong. And if you can't, then what you should do is switch gears. And you should then be adamantly against these people. That's not the way this works, though. So liberals will make up some other excuse, and they're already doing it. This is racist. This is trying to pigeonhole Somalians. I don't care who's doing it. If white people are doing this, make them pay. Because Olivia and I already know firsthand that this is a corrupt business. Because Olivia just absolutely found out how corrupt this is working with the Montessori schools. And the con that they played in this town. And opened up these grandiose leases and stiffed the landlords, made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and didn't pay any bills until they shut the doors, and then they just got up and fired everybody and skipped town, right?
Yep, pretty much.
So it's not just Somalians doing this. Anyone who's doing this should be absolutely punished to the nth degree. This is insanity.
Fraudulent daycare center that was just around the corner. We're on to the next location.
What? Get one of your kids going there. We're gonna paint Hayden brown and make her learn some Swahili and throw. No. Oh.
You need to call the state for an inspection. You have no idea how many times we had the state inspector.
Oh, you could call OSHA.
It's not OSHA.
Yeah, but
it's
you
the
could call
state inspector.
But you could call OSHA. OSHA would have to respond to this. They're a licensed business for unsafe work standards and whatever. You could call and make an anonymous complaint that
well,
it's
I would
health
have to work there, wouldn't I? But even
no, honey, no, not at all. Hold on a second. If a customer goes into a Best Buy and there's no air conditioning, it's 130 degrees in there in Phoenix, you can call OSHA and report that business, and then they will have to show up as an unsafe work environment for their employees. Now, certainly not going to help the customers, but it at least gets it recognized. You can call the health and safety inspector. They have to have a clean environment, right? They have to have it safe and sanitary. So that means they have to have routine inspections from health and safety, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but we had the, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was we had to pass the state inspector had to come in.
It's health and safety. I'm telling you.
And yeah, they had to come in. I don't know how many times she was in. Every single complaint we got, she was back. I mean, you have to be like up to code. So if I called the state inspector and had him go, they have to let him in.
Yeah.
Or they lose their daycare license.
Every single person should find a list of these places and just call health and safety or OSHA.
Minnesota. Yeah. I'm down with that. I'll help.
Karen says no. I don't know what no means. I don't know if you're talking to me or not.
Probably not.
Let me know if you are. All right, let's watch the rest.
We're still trying to find little Joey a place to go to get some daycare.
So where we're going now is a place called Super Kids Daycare Center. Interestingly, this daycare center was shut down when it was called Creative Minds Daycare, and it had received $2.45 million this fiscal year 2025.
Thanks, Riley.
They had to shut down because there were so many violations, and they went and they just reopened under a new license, and they renamed the center Super Kids Daycare Center, LLC.
Folks, just give you an update. It's 8 o'clock, and we've got about an hour left to go. We were hoping to be done with this by now, but it's creating some great conversation. OSHA isn't going to respond. Why not, Dale? Is it just the city? Everywhere, like every single place I've worked in California, is OSHA is called, and they get a response. I don't know why they wouldn't, but there's got to be some oversight, right?
In order to get a state license for daycare, and every state's different with the requirements, but each state is going to have specific requirements. You have to meet these standards in order to operate a daycare. And I know in Virginia, you can have 5 or less kids to be considered, you're not a daycare center.
Yeah, that was the way it was in New Mexico,
yeah,
too.
6 or more, you're considered a daycare center, and you need to get a license. And if you don't, and somebody finds out, then you could get fined and stuff. But 5 and under, you can just have an at-home daycare and not have a license and basically babysit at home. But yeah, there are standards that you have to meet.
See, but here's the problem. They're right. If this is the state and this is local city, I mean, they could have the fire inspector on and the marshal on the payroll. They could be bribing the state inspector. We don't know. Nobody knows. But OSHA is, that is a federally ran. Everywhere I've worked in a lot of states for retail. OSHA is like one of the most thorough and intense oversight companies there are for businesses. Every time I've ever called OSHA, we get a response. And I've called OSHA on many companies. Seriously. In Arizona, when I first got there, all the ACs were broken in my stores. And I raised bloody hell. And I called corporate, and I was the district manager, and I said, you guys, you need to do this. They said, well, we don't have it on our P&L to fix these air conditioners. I said, it is 125 degrees in these stores. It's 118 degrees outside. This is Phoenix, Arizona. We have to have an air conditioner. And they said, well, we don't have the expense. I said, I'm going to go buy fans, and I'm going to buy bags of ice. And we are literally going to blow those fans inside these stores. And they said, well, you don't have the petty cash for it. I said, I don't give a shit. I'm doing it. I'm not going to make my people work through this. It was almost a week. And I'm not kidding. Out of 32 stores, 28 of them, none of them had AC.
I remember that.
And so what did I do? I called my Yancey Warnock. I called my regional and I said, Yancey, I know I've only been here for a couple months, but I'm calling OSHA on every one of my stores. And he goes, you're going to fucking do what? And I said, I'm calling OSHA and I'm reporting our business for not being OSHA compliant and putting our employees in an unsafe work environment. He goes, Matt, you can't do that. You're going to get fired. I said, show me how that's against the employee handbook. And he goes, hold on a second. Let me get on the phone. So then I got the vice president, Roger Dunlap. I got Yancey Warnock on there. They call me and they said, Matt, what are you doing? I said, I'm reporting our company for having unsafe. I am literally having to have my employees go to their car every hour to get air conditioning. Down. I have people who wear black shirts and their sweat rings, they look like a tree, for God's sakes, in the redwood forest. I can see how long they've been working by the sweat rings. There's people with sweat rings all the way up to their neck, all the way down their back. Either you get somebody out here to fix these air conditioners or I'm calling OSHA. You're damn skippy.
How long did it take?
72 hours. All 28 stores got fixed. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it doesn't matter. The point is,
should have kept up with it.
The point is OSHA is a serious organization. Anyway, we got to watch this. Put that one in there real quick.
So they got shut down, then started another one.
Literally the next day.
Creative Minds Daycare, $2.45 million got sent to this daycare center. We have empty parking lot. We do have a bus here. This is different. We'll see if we see anybody.
Thank you for the donation, Kat. $5. Awesome show. Somali pirates in the U.S. Ain't that the truth? They just don't have the boats and they don't have the AK-47s, but they certainly are pirates, aren't they?
Yep.
Knocked on the door. Absolutely nobody was inside. And once again, no children could be heard anywhere. So, David, once again, another child daycare center. We have a bus out here. No one's inside. Licensed for over 50 kids. No children anywhere. But yet, millions of dollars every single.
Bobby Richardson, $21.10. Awesome show. We need more informative digging like this. Love you. Thank you, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
Appreciate the donation, hon. 164.19. We're halfway there, folks. 6 minutes past the hour. That's good news. Let's keep it going. Thank you.
Single year.
So the sign says Creative Minds Daycare. They got in so much trouble. They had so many violations that they had to shut down, and they reopened the next day. Under Super Kids Daycare Center, you see 3801 Portland, 3801 Portland, which is where we are.
So that's fraud right there alone.
Millions and millions of dollars, and again, the kids are missing. Where are the kids?
You would think if they had the same address, that whoever's inside or working at the Capitol here inside of Minnesota would just say, oh, maybe that's a red flag.
They just write the check. Human Services, they got to clean out the whole bunch. They're the ones who enabled this fraud. How can you not look and...
I mean, Health and Human Services, that's what we were looking for with Health and Safety Inspector. Yeah, HHS does that. They do that for all food industry. They do it for daycare. They do it. And any type of hospitality industry, and this is hospitality, nursing homes, HHS is going to be involved. If you're simply selling retail and you're selling, OSHA is predominantly going to take most of those type of things. But if you're serving food or drinks or any type of stuff like that or hospitality, HHS is going to be up your ass. They're supposed to be, at least.
Say, wait a minute, these two are registered at the same address.
On top of all of the childcare centers, that's just only a small piece of the fraud. What other fraud are they committing here in Minnesota?
So another major piece of the fraud is the home health care industry. Where we're going now is a building that has 14 Somali-owned home health care companies in the same building.
14 of the same healthcare companies in one building.
14 home healthcare companies with different names in the same building.
How bad has Tim Walz managed the budget here inside of Minnesota?
So the last biennium, we had an $18 billion surplus. This biennium, we have a $6 billion deficit. That's a $24 billion swing in one biennium.
What's a biennium?
How in the world can you burn through $24 billion in 2 years? This is how, right here. This is a huge part of it.
And so would you say a lot of that is fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Absolutely. I would say better than 90% of it is absolute outright fraud.
And a large percentage of this fraud is from these healthcare companies that are charging the state millions of dollars while they actually aren't providing anything. In fact, the FBI just did a raid a few days ago on a building similar to the one we are about to enter. Inside of this building, there were 14 of nearly the exact same businesses offering the exact same services. Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare.
No, it's okay.
Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here.
No.
Why can't I get healthcare here?
No, wait.
Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare.
Christine says biennium is a 2-year period of time. Why don't you just call it biannual? Oh, biannual 6 months. So that's why you would say biennium. Okay. That's weird though. Yeah, okay. 2 years. Yeah. Got it.
So here's something with these businesses.
Yeah, go ahead.
Any business has to have their doors unlocked during business hours for safety. And if those businesses, their doors are locked.
Wait, in a daycare?
No, he's talking about these health services or health buildings now.
Oh, okay.
They're in this building that's all
Got it.
14 different health places.
Got it. Okay.
Like doctors' offices. The doors have to be open.
And those doors were locked?
Most of them were locked.
Okay.
Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here.
That's not unheard of. I mean, you know what I mean? That's
Having a building full of healthcare. No, that's not.
It's in fact most of them do that. Dentists do that. Mm-hmm. Doctors, therapy, psychologists, they're kind of all in the same area, but having 3 of the same competitive companies, that's a little weird.
In this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands, Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think has been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers and they actually took down information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that someone matching your description were in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
Okay.
Well, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here. And he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay.
So
he's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just checking.
No, this is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason that you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from now multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
Yeah.
So
as we got escorted out of this building, the Somalis filmed us as we left, and we headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home health care providers operating from inside of the building. Right here you have multicultural home care. And right here it says it's open, but can't even get in. Another Reliance Recovery Center. Mercy and Grace Care, Inc. Right here you have Den Eritrean Youth Development Association of Minnesota. Another child care center. Welcome to Bright Beginnings Center. But what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Sorry. No comments. Can I please?
Right here you have Serenity Quality Care.
So first, a little bit of feedback. You can't. That's going to get him in trouble. You can't block the door. right? You can't stop her from closing the door. So there's little things that, like right there, when someone says you're harassing, like you have no, let's just be honest with you. The daycare, I'm with you. Okay. The autism centers, I'm with you. This, to me, is a little different. Home health care means sending people in to provide health care for non-ambulatory people or some medical condition. Is that right?
That's what you think it is.
So, well, a corporate office isn't going to have elderly people there. They're not going to be checking people in. They're a corporate office. This to me is not as mind-boggling as the other ones. I don't know how you feel, but I think when you put Somali in front of it, people are like, it's all corrupt. It's all corrupt.
It depends on what type of healthcare. If it's home healthcare, yeah.
Well, they're all home healthcare. Didn't you listen to them?
They were all home healthcare. Okay.
Every single one of these is home healthcare.
Got it.
It's not a dentist's office. It's not, pediatrician's office. These are home healthcare, and there's competing businesses. Now, does that mean that they're all crooked? I don't know. What I'm saying is that you shouldn't stand in front of the door. That's a stupid thing to do, because then you are going to get trespassed, and you can't do that. That is harassment. If they are breaking the law, and he could be getting pissed at this point, seeing all this. I can't imagine how many hours he's been doing this and how many things he's seeing, but you do have to understand you can't break the law, But home health care to me is they need to prove that there's no vans, there's no employees, nobody's going in homes. You can't prove that. We don't have that yet. The other ones are very suspicious. This one, not so much. But once again, these people could be crooked as a dog's hind leg. But I don't see that so far. To me, we have one of these in Round Hill, Liv. We almost rented the property there at Valor.
Yeah.
And it's all in-home healthcare service and psychologist's office and everything else. And it's very much like this. There's multiple competing businesses in one area. If I'm seeing it wrong, let me know. Maybe there's more in here in a few seconds that'll help me go, wow, I'm really outraged.
All of these businesses are literally the same type of business, providing the same service in the same building. Another convenience, home healthcare, aid, Inc., and child-friendly space. All these companies get money from the government. Why would you have the same company essentially inside of the same building, door to door? Right here, Queenly Home Healthcare. It just does not make sense. If you're trying to operate a business, you'd want to have less competition. But here,
okay, so I'm going to provide some. This one's got me a little irate. A lot of companies, a lot of businesses have an offsite location simply because for tax purposes. A lot of companies will lease a building for tax purposes. It changes your tax liability. Having an address changes how you go ahead and file your taxes, what size of business you are, and what you qualify for. So to me, a lot of these could be simple, not shells as in shell companies, but they could be shell corporations in the sense, not from the negative of moving shell money and shell game, but in the sense of a shell, a name of a company on the outside of the door with a secretary there that's there to collect mail, there to have appointments, there to do proposals, but not necessarily there for everyday customer traffic. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
they have all of their competition right next door. We're wondering, because we hear there's lots of fraud taking place here in Minnesota, and we're wondering, why is there so many of the same companies inside of this same building?
Oh, good.
No, I don't know.
What do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't have any idea about that fraud, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
What do you think about the news articles and what's being spread on the news about the fraud?
Right now, you are doing something wrong.
I'm just asking you
No, you
about
don't
the
have
fraud.
to ask me, okay? Don't ask me that question again.
Okay.
Okay?
Who can I speak to?
Yeah?
Who can I speak to? Okay.
What he
As soon as
should
you
have
confirm
done
about the fraud.
is he should have tried to call the companies and make an appointment.
I agree.
And if they didn't call or they didn't answer or he wasn't able to leave a message, he could go to him and said, you know, I'm trying to set an appointment.
Right.
And
right.
act as a customer as opposed to doing what
versus the other ones, which are a little bit different. Like my blood's boiling in the first 30 minutes. This one is just, to me, this is.
And I'm pretty sure it's all fraudulent, but this one's a little bit more.
It's
not as like concrete proof.
You need more to convince me that something isn't right here. But this is a very different industry than having kinder care or having an autism childcare center. That is a hands-on, customers show up, kids show up, employees show up. This, no, not at all. In fact, a lot of the employees very well could be leased from the hospital and they're subcontracted. This could be like the reason why there's multiple there is because they're Somali. They know cheap rent. And they literally, business clings to other business. It's just the way it works. It's like putting a boutique shop in the middle of Tech Row. You're not going to do that. Tech companies are going to put tech companies. That's why you see Best Buys next to Circuit Cities, and Circuit Cities next to Wexmans, and Wexmans next to Ultimate Electronics when those were around. But you don't put an Apple store, a Microsoft store, and in the middle you put Pete's Coconut, ice cream. It's just these businesses will want to, be there on the cheap. You also have, who just shut up? You also have maybe employees who are working there who leave and, who expand. So there's plenty of different reasons why. I just need more evidence. That's what I'm saying.
They get angry.
Right. JD says this is filler video to make the story. Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly the way I feel. Like this could be bad too. It's not as bad as what we just showed you, but this could be bad too. Thank you, JD, for putting it in the words.
When these people have these home healthcare companies, you're seeing them everywhere inside this building. What kind of fraud are they committing?
So there's false documentation being submitted to the state of Minnesota for services never provided. They're having forms signed in advance for services that were then never rendered. As far as a year or 2 years in advance, they'll have someone sign these forms at one sitting, and then they just file those with the state of Minnesota, and nobody from the state of Minnesota bothers to check that those services were ever provided.
So they're essentially just using people saying that they had these services provided months or even years ago, then filing the paperwork and then receiving money from the government.
Right, and the Somali community is a very closed community. So everybody's in on it, and they don't want to talk, as you can see.
And for this building, I'm going to give an estimate of around $30 million for how much fraud is taking place. That is a very low estimate.
Yeah, this is the only part of the video that I'm just like, okay, move on. Like, you how can you possibly estimate that? And you can't. Now, that is the way that home healthcare would fraud. They would also fraudulently bill customers. They would overcharge them for toilet paper or overcharge them for aspirin or a massage. And they would do false billing. I mean, this happens. This is a white collar crime, and you see this mail fraud, another type of thing in senior living centers. You see this in lawyers who are overbilling their clients or mass corporations. I mean, this stuff happens, and yes, that's what he said is exactly true. But you have no evidence that is happening. Like this to me, this is like that bothers me. This is what he did in the Ukraine thing.
Yeah.
When he tried to pretend that there was no Ukraine war, and I was like, oh, bro, come on. That video sucked. And this little piece of it gets me. That's all. I just want us to keep perspective that sometimes you can be right and still do it wrong.
Yeah.
However, still a lot of money in fraud. And do you think there is fraud taking place here?
I don't know. Yeah.
Do you have any idea what any of these businesses are doing?
I never ask.
And now, with upwards of $100 million in fraud, we headed to one more daycare, and this one gets a little spicy as we get chased out at the very end. And after this, we'll be heading to the state capitol to confront the incompetent government leaders who have enabled this fraud to happen. And I knew this video was going to be super dangerous to film because of obviously how hostile it is, and as we are exposing.
All right, so this is a great question. Robert Gamble says the question needs to be asked: do all these Somalis have intricate organic knowledge of American tax laws, or are they being coached and corrupted by Democrat politicians? I speculation, right? I mean, we don't know either one, but I will tell you this: crime is a learned behavior. That is every type of POS crime that we had, point of sale, inside retail that I worked at, was always learned. A person came up with it and then taught it to other employees, and then it spread like wildfire. And that is how it works. It's a learned behavior. It is not something that is just generated systematically through all your stores by happenstance. That just doesn't happen. Okay? Like, okay, so say there's an inventory discrepancy report, right? And you get a shipment of games. Let's call it Harvest Moon on Nintendo DS. You get Harvest Moon that comes in all your stores, and your big volume stores get 30 copies. Your other volume stores get 3 or 4 copies, right? And you go ahead and you take the ones that are kind of in sales on DS, and you move those over to here. Well, while you're moving some over to the big store on 48th and Bell, you realize that when you scan them in, it is duplicating inside the POS what you have. And then when you leave, the store is showing that none are missing. And the store you're supposed to transfer them to is going to go ahead and get a replenishment SKU for stock sold, and then corporate's going to send them 18 anyway. So you're like, okay, well, I could do one thing. I could go ahead and take these 18 I was going to share, or 16, steal them, put them in my car, and wait for corporate, because it's going to show the inventory in that store. And by the time they do inventory and catch the discrepancy, it's going to be 90 days, and the paper trail is going to be really hard to find. I'm going to steal and do that and say every other DM across the country recognizes the same thing. That doesn't happen, because you have to have the exact scenario happen. And then you have to have somebody who is unethical exactly at the same level that that other person is. It's a learned behavior. And what it would be is Sean calls Matt. Sean's in Colorado. Matt's in Arizona. Sean goes, dude, bro, go do this real quick, and I'll show you what this is. And he goes, dude, you got 16 copies of Harvest Moon, and they're out of there. You can just keep those and go sell those on eBay, bro, because corporate's going to replenish, and that other store is a slow store, and they're going to assume that it was a discrepancy on shipment because it's a large number. Nobody steals 16 copies of Harvest Moon. Bro, do that. Give yourself a bonus that we didn't get this year. You're a rock star. That's a learned behavior. So when we look at this and we go, okay, who taught these people this? This is like the anarchist cookbook. Somebody created it, a multitude of people created it, and then put it and condensed it into the buyer's guide, and then people learn this behavior because they're criminal-minded. That's how it works most of the time. But there is the issue that I have is that these companies are funding Democrat politicians and Act Blue, and that is what makes my head scratch. Because how did they get away with it? Well, once again, it's either because it's someone's inept or someone's complicit. It's one or the other. Either Tim Walz and crew overlooked this and realized it was happening, or they were unable to stop it and identify it. Complicit or inept.
Legit fraud happening. I did get security for this video, and I was able to do it through the Black Line Guardian. And if you guys want to help fund my security in the future, you can go down to the link down below. They're not paying me to say any of this. They came in and decided.
You guys can find him at Nick Shirley, SHIRLEYY, at Nick Shirley on X. Go follow him. Listen, the kid's, he's doing amazing work. I'm not tearing him up. I'm giving him, he looks like Robert Pattinson sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm giving him all the props in the world. This takes incredible moxie, incredible skill set. Amazing work. I'm just being critical because I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be fair here. Not all Somalis are horrible people, okay? That's not the way it works. But there is a large contingency of them. And if you look at the fraud in Minnesota, out of the billions of dollars, 80% of the claims are against Somalis. That is a trend. That is an epidemic. And unfortunately, when 8 out of 10 of the Somalis are involved in this, then you have to go ahead and assume that they're all bad in this group. And people are like, well, it's racist. No, it's not. It's sheer statistical numbers. Just like if you look at suicide or drug use or sexual abuse or pornographic material, people who get involved in that or sexually predate children, you look at the transgender community and they own a giant portion of that more than any other demographic. It's not transphobia, it's the numbers.
To help me out for this video. So you can go to Black Line Guardian, the link's down below, and click Guardian for Nick, and those funds will directly go to my security and future videos as...
Or you can donate to the Don't Unfriend Me show and we'll show you more, Nick.
We are
They're not wearing their seatbelts.
Lots of things happening, especially with this fraud. Like I said, they're not sponsoring this video. I'm just giving them a shout out because of how they helped me. So go down to the link down below, click Guardian for Nick, and let's keep going. And now we're going to the next location. Now, this child daycare center,
Since he did a plug, I will too. Folks, we have 22 minutes left. because we've got some other stuff to show, and then Olivia and I need to jump off tonight. But 164, we're halfway to our goal. If you wouldn't mind helping us out, we will continue to do stuff like this as well. We've brought you plenty of stuff in Virginia. We've talked about LCPS. We've talked about the stuff in Fairfax. We do our own type of stuff like this too. Helping us out, we would appreciate it. Certainly not this big, 130 million people seeing this. That's incredible.
It's different than all the other ones we've been to. Tell us about this one.
This one is different because, according to the state of Minnesota, this 312 West Lake Street houses not one, not two, but 3 child care centers and is licensed to hold 102 children, and in fiscal year 2025 was paid $2.66 million by the state of Minnesota.
And this is the building right here. So this building alone made...
Dude, Deborah's my hero. She's talking about Froyo.
Mm-hmm.
See that woman? She knows what's up. Olivia and I have been cheating. Like we like basically threw caution to the wind this holiday. I've been doing okay. She's been enjoying her cookies.
I've been enjoying my Christmas cookies.
Yes, I love how you said that like you're a hostage. She's been enjoying her cookies.
They're making me eat them.
I've been enjoying my cookies.
No, the cookies. They look at me and they say, "Eat me," so I have to eat it. So there we go.
Can you go get me a pen and a piece of paper? I've got an idea of a sign I'm going to write.
$2.6 million. Let's see if anybody's inside.
Took me a minute.
High five! High five! High five for quick! High five for quick-witted.
Oh my goodness.
We're inside of the building where there's apparently 4 child care centers. We met this lady and we followed her to the back of the building where the daycare was supposedly at. So right here we have 2 child daycare centers. We have the Minnesota Child Care Center, and then we also have Nuna. Between the two, $2.66 million. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Why are you recording?
Yes. We would like to know.
Well, it says we're trying to figure out 102 children. Is that for this facility?
What is the name?
It's from the state of Minnesota website. It says you have 102 children here in your child care.
Which child care name is a lot of
Minnesota Child Care right here. It's from the state of Minnesota's website. We're just wondering where the children are.
Where the children are?
Yeah, where are the children? It says you have 102 children here, and you got $2.66 million this year in funding, and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
And where are you? Which department? That is harassment.
Oh, we are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going.
You can't do that. That's bad. You can't do that.
Can't do that, Bubba. That's gonna get your shit in trouble, and it lowers credibility, right? You can't force that. You can't do that. Now, listen, there's no doubt in my mind that these people are, but this one has pictures and painting and airbrushing and looked fairly clean. You got it. Okay, not every daycare is going to be a fraud, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these questions, it's important to expose it. What I really would love to have seen is like, listen, have him just go to one of these daycare centers and watch it for 2 or 3 days, and watch the intake, and then present the video to these people and say, listen, can you comment? Where are the kids? That's the greatest question. Where are all the kids? It's a simple question that nobody seems to be able to answer, but you can't grab the door like that, man. It's just not the way it works.
That's bad.
That's not.
I understand you're getting frustrated, but you can't do that.
I would be frustrated too. I get it. Listen,
it's better to pose as a customer, not going right in with the fraud answers. Do customer.
Yeah, because then you're accusing people, and you don't know. You don't know. Oh, look at Deborah coming in with the win. Look at this girl. She's trying to fatten you up, Liv. She knows what daddy like. Look at her.
Yeah.
Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look at this daycare center right here. No children inside of this daycare center. But between those buildings, over $2.6 million. We were just curious, where are the children?
Mom, he shows
right
the
here.
inside of it.
Okay.
That looks like a daycare center to me.
Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Debbie Boggs. Froyo. I mean, where are the toys? I mean, that at least looks like.
The walls are painted.
Yeah.
Inside of this
but
daycare center.
It's got Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse.
But there's no toys. There's nothing there. There's stairs and stairs. That's
well, they could have a gate there. We don't know.
They could, but
cell phones off. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know.
It doesn't look like a daycare to me.
Yeah, it certainly looks better than that other shit we were looking at.
Inside of this daycare center, but between those buildings, over $2.6 million. We were just curious, where are the children at? Do you know where the children are at?
No.
Where are the children at in these daycare centers?
I don't care.
How come these childcare centers have no children?
I don't know. No.
There's $2.6 million inside these businesses that were given by the government, but there's no children to be seen anywhere. People deserve to know where their taxes are going. If these companies and these daycare centers are making upwards of $2.6 million and there's no children to be seen anywhere, something fraudulent is happening. And that is not make you racist, Islamophobic. This is just the truth of what's happening here in Minnesota. If there's a bunch of white people doing the same thing, we'd be talking about the same issue. This is just fraud at unprecedented levels here inside Minnesota. It's actually very concerning. Where are the children at inside of these buildings? They're nowhere to be seen. Millions of dollars are being sent into these daycare centers all across Minnesota, and there's not a child to be seen anywhere. Here's another daycare center inside this same building.
We don't want you to be videotaping anything.
Where is all the money going for if there's no children at these daycare centers?
Sir.
Yes.
I told you, please leave.
Yes, we have a question though. Where is the children at these daycare centers if there's millions of dollars?
Ask the local government, yeah.
Oh, we've asked. We have the paper here. No. So we're wondering where the money and where the children are at. We have the paper right here. Come here.
Who are you, first of all?
My name's Nick Shirley.
You don't have any permission to record me, period.
Can we talk outside?
You don't have permission to record.
She doesn't either have, she doesn't have permission to record me?
No, you cannot stop people on the street and question them.
We can ask.
You don't have any permission.
Where are the children?
I will sue you. You don't have any permission. We have nothing to do with this. You understand?
Then are there
children? So leave. Please leave.
Are there children here?
Please leave.
Where are the children? $2.6 million for a daycare center.
You ask whoever you think is doing that. You don't know what you're talking about. So leave.
Tell us what's happening here then.
I said leave.
We're wondering what's happening.
We are not a child care. We are nothing to do with it. We're common people walking. And
yes.
You are.
We're not accusing you. We're asking where the children are at.
Don't ask me anything.
We're not accusing you. We're asking the daycare centers.
I am not going to answer. You have.
Where are the children at?
Leave. Leave.
We just want to know where are the children.
Who you work for?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Who do you work for?
I work for myself, Nick Shirley.
Okay, what are you recording?
We're wondering where are the children? $2.66 million for
You're not talking
the
to
Minnesota
right
Child Care Center.
You're not talking to the right person.
Are there children that come here? Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building.
I don't know who you're talking to. Leave.
That's just a simple question. Where are the children at? David, they won't even answer. We asked him. Plain and simple. Where are the children? Do children come here?
This is why I've had my life. I've been attacked twice. Once with a knife, and the other time I was jumped last Saturday by 3 Somali men simply for asking questions about what was going on. And they're very, very violent people. They do not like this fraud to be exposed.
After giving this man plenty of opportunities to answer the simple question, where are the children, he called the cops on us and we headed to the state capitol where they're having a meeting about the fraud to confront.
See, now that's where I would have went. See, once you got this, then you go and you go to your state legislature, you go to the governor's office, and you raise hell. Because that's where, like, I'm excited that this got where it's at, but there have been plenty of people who've done things like this, and it goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. Because you've got to crack the code. And Elon Musk shared this, and then it went global. Once Elon shared this, it was over. But not everybody gets an Elon share, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The state representatives and people in the government who have enabled and let this fraud happen. Inside of this committee, a Republican representative showed charts showing exactly how this fraud has been committed and who is profiting and connecting all the dots. And while the Democrat representatives looked into the abyss, one of them spoke about how none of this is building trust and how this is a nonpartisan issue, so I went and confronted her after that.
Yes, that's what I'm...
He has some very valid questions to ask about what's going on here in Minnesota. And do you think this fraud...
I don't know who
Oh my God. You know what? This chick is related to the Best Buy chick who I had to deal with this weekend. You see how she put her hands together like that? Any woman that does this, You're about ready to get treated like your mom, and I can't stand we'll tell you about this lady in a second.
My name's Nick Shirley. Do you think this fraud is Republican or Democrat, or just facts that fraud is happening? Because because that's what I heard you talking about.
I know what I said is that
because
what we're talking about is
we want to build trust, but fraud is fraud. So why should we be enabling?
Hey, there we go. 66% to gold. CJ Jenkins donated 2110. Great show. Thank you, CJ. Listen, it's a lot of Nick's work. We're just sitting here, critiquing it. He did the hard work, but we appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. We're at 203.05, folks, about $100 away from goal. Would love to hit that in the next 20 minutes or so. Here's the rest. We're almost done here, and then we've got some commentary.
Fraud to happen here.
No, I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
Okay, sir.
No. This is not.
Sir.
Oh my
when
God,
are you going
the
to hold
hands.
Governor Walz? No. She is a representative for the state of Minnesota. Yes or no?
Excuse me.
Yes. Are you?
If you're going to talk to me like
are
that,
you the state? I'm a disability advocate.
I heard you, and we've got a chance
overstimulated.
to testify.
Thank you for testifying today.
No.
Ma'am, the facts are the facts that fraud is happening here, and it's not a nonpartisan issue. How come you think fraud has been able to happen so much underneath?
I think
the
if you've
government
been
here?
listening to our hearings, we've had now 10 hearings on this. And so there's really good data from the people who both work within the administration as well as who, both Democrat and Republicans. I think what you heard today is that the Republicans who control this committee are not actually interested in solving fraud. What they're interested
So now she just made it a political issue. That's why this is partisan. You just said it. You just divided the lines by party, lady. That is what partisan politics means. I can't stand people like this. My God, I just can't do it, Liv.
in is telling a story.
This fraud has happened underneath Democrat leader Tim Walz.
There has been Medicaid fraud across the country under Democrats and Republicans. There's fraud within the Trump administration. We have is fraud. Private providers have made government a mark. And so every person running government, Democrats or Republicans, are dealing with the issue of how to keep fraudsters out of our public payment. We're also dealing with veterans. We're dealing with consumers. I hope you're looking at that. If you look at United Health, currently is being charged with defrauding Medicare. You know who runs Medicare? President Trump. Medicaid fraud is a 50-state issue. Mm-hmm. And so, again, it is not a partisan issue.
So what you're saying is that because fraud happens, fraud is okay.
Yep.
That's what you're saying. You're saying because fraud is bad and fraud happens, therefore some fraud is just acceptable. Because we're not talking about federal government. This is a straw man that she's doing. What she's trying to do is make a logical fallacy argument. She is trying to go ahead and say, because Donald Trump does this and all other 50 states do this, that Minnesota is just falling victim to the same thing. Right, but you're not addressing the problem in Minnesota. You've got to start somewhere. And if you have Somalians who came here who were granted asylum and dropped into the middle of this city and have taken it over, and they were naturalized, then you remove their citizenship and you deport the fuckers. It's that simple. Start somewhere. But if you don't have accountability and all you do is punt the football over to the federal government and not take state responsibility for the funds you receive from the federal government, they're going to punt it back to you, because we're going to go to Trump and we're going to go to Department of Treasury. We're going to go to the state legislature. We're going to go to the Senate. You know what they're going to say? They're going to say, you got to talk to, we're not the state government. You got to talk to Minnesota. So this is a typical politician. She's just going to kick the can down the road. So she's admitting there's fraud. She's admitting she's aware of it. Then show me what you're actively doing to stop this. And the only way that you can actively stop this is send the police department into these places. Send the police right now to these places and see if their business licenses are in order. See if there are weapons on the premises. See if there are drugs on the premises. See if what is going on. And it starts there. But this is typical partisan politics.
Democrats and Republicans who are sitting in that committee talking about it. But what you did here was the Republican.
Jeff Oliphant, I want to see heads roll. Me too. $25. Thank you so much. We are now at $228, $75 from goal. We appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Chair station.
No, her breathing isn't panic. She's out of shape because she's fat. I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you, she's a puffy. and she doesn't walk up the stairs. And I'll be honest with you, man, I'm not, the epitome of cardio, but I know when somebody walks upstairs when they're out of breath, and that's why. Jennifer McCarver donated 20. Let's hit goal. Yes, let's hit goal. $50 away. Here we go.
She's not turning information over to the one person in government who can stop payment. And I hope you print that.
Thank you for coming today.
Okay.
Crazy.
Oh my God. Thank you for coming today.
Well, you saw what happened
the
there?
state of Minnesota that we live in, and these politicians are just walking off thinking it's okay to...
See, can I say something?
Yes.
Bro, go home, play Nintendo. You are not a guy that people are going to listen to. You're bug-eyed, you're fucking flamboyant as a $3. You make me nervous, and I'm on your side. Like, guys like this do not help your credibility. Don't stand with him, because this guy's a nutter. This guy goes to every city council event and literally makes it like pinball controversies. This doesn't strike me as a person who is credible. So I wouldn't put my coattails on that guy. And you guys be like, he's amazing. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's boisterous. He's antagonistic, and he's threatening. And if he came and approached me the way he approached that girl, I would react the same. And there's a reason why she talked to Nick and didn't talk to him. Because this guy looks like he's a couple cans short of a six-pack, and Nick at least is calm, respectable, listening, letting her talk. That's what you want to do.
And they want to go visit the Trump. They want to blame the Trump administration. We have Democrats blaming ICE. I'm tired. My people are suffering.
Oh, my God. Bro.
I'm scared for my little brother.
Why?
My people are suffering.
Why?
And these people just walk off. We have a governor who fucking doesn't care. How many more people are gonna freaking die? How many more people are gonna go homeless?
What are we talking
and how many
about?
more people are gonna be trafficked in our freaking system?
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm good.
Wow.
I had enough. I listen. I'll give it an 8.5. The in-home health services, whatever. Don't care. The rest of it, yeah. Other guy needs to lay off the caffeine.
Yeah.
This isn't just Somali. This is everywhere. I mean, veterans will tell you this has been going on for years. And when you have billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars changing hands every single quarter, if 0.05% of that is fraud, you're talking millions upon millions of dollars. It's disturbing as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, it's not just Walz. This needs to be something that's looked at in all 50 states. It's got to be investigated. And we have to ask ourselves the question, why the is the government subsidizing daycare at all?
Exactly. Considering how much daycare costs.
Right.
Is it low income daycare?
Well, who cares? Then don't have kids. Listen, people are like, oh, you don't love children. No, I love my children. I don't believe the government should be subsidizing healthcare or healthcare, daycare, any type of care. There are programs that are in place for this, but Medicare, Medicaid, okay, fine. But there's fraud, so it needs to be isolated. But take a look at Obamacare. How much fraud do you think was in that when they were forcing people to pay for it so they could keep premiums down? And once the Supreme Court said that wasn't constitutional, Obamacare just torpedoed itself, because the reason why is you did forced enrollment. You forced people to enroll, or you gave them a tax. And once the Supreme Court said that was unconstitutional, the Obamacare mandate was unconstitutional, Obamacare,
the people who paid fines, did they get their money back?
No. Not that I know of. But you have to understand that the fines it was only a few months. But there were people who had to pay for that. Now, did they get their money back? I don't know. They very well could.
Got it.
But this shit needs to be addressed. 5195, Mr. Holiday. Thank you, Maddie. We appreciate you. 300 puts us at goal. We have no problem overdriving. We would love to. We got to tell you a story about Best Buy. We had a lot to talk about tonight. We will cover it again with Dan Nunn. We have too much to cover, but we got to tell you a story about Best Buy. You want to do it?
He's not coming on until January.
So we won't do any more shows till January. No, I'm kidding.
It's just you and Lee right tomorrow. There was one question. Justin wanted to know if you know when SCOTUS is hearing the constitutional carry. Do you know when that's coming?
They're not even in session right now. So that's got to be, I almost want to say that wouldn't be till spring. Hold on. No date. No date. And here's the problem is that there's no specific case that's being moved up through the appellate court right now that I'm aware of. Is there a particular case that I'm not aware of? I didn't think constitutional.
No, that was the only thing that he said.
No, I know, but he's asking for a reason because if there's a case that it's not been brought in, I'm so sorry. That hasn't been brought, then it can take up to 2 to 5 years. If there is a current case working its way that I'm not aware of, let me know. Bring it. Oh, it's already been brought in. Do you want to talk about this or no?
It's totally up to you.
Okay, so you know what? We don't need to talk about that. Who cares? It's stupid. It's Best Buy. Everyone knows Best Buy sucks. Why has this only been shared 42 times? Well, I don't know. That's not one for me to answer. Do you want to watch the kids doing the
I haven't seen this one.
You haven't seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, you need to watch the donkey because the donkey is hilarious. We're just going to show some fun videos. But we are going to cover a whole bunch tomorrow. Here is this play. They were doing the manger scene, right? In school play, typical, you know? And there is the donkey, kid in gray. It looks to be a cow and some other kid. And this is great. Watch this. A pig.
Did he hit his head?
Are they twins? They look like brothers.
Someone break it up. Jen.
Every year.
Did he hit his head?
That's pretty funny. You work with these kids all the time.
I do.
And is there any
Not these kids.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
there any opportunity to have a kid be in a play like that and have them not do that? At that age?
Yeah, I mean, I know I was in several at that age, and I never freaking.
Yeah, but you're not a boy.
Yeah, I've seen several, and I haven't seen any fighting. But I mean, I guess I don't know. It just depends.
Well, I'm just wondering if kids, like you're the expert. You've got two of your own, and you raise these damn little minions. Can you reasonably put a couple 4, 5, 6-year-olds in a nativity scene and expect them not to do rambunctious shit?
It really depends. I mean, Hayden had her Christmas concert when she was 5, and it was a 45-minute concert. And she was rambunctious and hilarious, but there was no pushing or sword fighting or anything like that. I mean, the kids got a little antsy, but there was nothing like that. So
yeah, I remember being in a play at that age, and we didn't do it either.
Exactly. I was in a play. Yeah,
my mom and dad would have killed us. They would have grabbed us and beat the living shit out of us when we got home. Let's talk about the beating at the stage. The parents would have killed us. I'm going to listen, Matt Gaetz. You guys know I like to go back in time and look at old Fox News clips and stuff and go, I think Matt Gaetz or Bob or Fred or Sue may have said A, B, C, or D. I think I'm going to go back and look and see. Well, Matt Gaetz is now back on the I Hate Jews train. He never was on the I Hate Jews train. I mean, he took money from the Jews. He took money from AIPAC. He had no problem with AIPAC. And ethics doesn't seem to be Matt Gaetz' big thing. But Matt Gaetz was blaming somebody else before this. And now Matt Gaetz is blaming the Jews for the alleged sexual impropriety that he had while he was in Congress. This is an interesting one. Matt, eat some crow, buddy, because what you said is not what you did, and what you did is not what you said. Here it is. A little bit of truth for you. Listen to this.
Is happening is an
Glenn, hi guys, haven't seen y'all in a while. I don't get notifications from you guys at all. Happy. Glenn, we're always on at 7 o'clock. Always. It hasn't changed. 3 years. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard. Come on by. Say hello. Good to have you back. Here it is. Matt, the Supreme Court is going to rule on private property carry and definition of sensitive places. Okay, but that's not full constitutional carry. That's why I couldn't find it. I'll look into it tomorrow. Please remind me, Maddie. Here it is.
Extortion of me and my family involving a former Department of Justice official.
It's just an op. And it was an op to silence me. And Israel was involved. And I hate to say that. I was shocked to learn it.
First of all, who is this Department of Justice former employee who's trying to extort the money from you, you say?
His name is David McGee. He was a top official in the leadership in the Northern District of Florida as a prosecutor. He currently works at the Beggs and Lane law firm.
There was a consulate official.
Okay, this is amazing. So this is the charge that you were like trafficking underage girls.
Absurd. And
I don't even know what the charge was, but that was the headline. Matt Gaetz traffics underage women. It's like, oh my gosh, can't talk to Matt Gaetz anymore.
Well, for us, the shocking moment was when my father, who's a prominent person in our community, got outreach from someone he had never met that said that there were pictures and images of me with underage prostitutes, and my dad needed to meet with these people right away. And so my dad, somewhat surprised and concerned, goes and talks to these people and says, what in the world are you talking about? And they said, well, Mr. Gaetz, we need $25 million from you to go and rescue a spy that is being held in Iran. And if you do that, we can make these things about your son go away.
Right. And this is the guy who also said that when he went to AIPAC, that there was a Jew rifling through his hotel room and his personal belongings. Remember, he said this too. And we have a description of the Jew. It was a black dress with white lace and a little white hat, and she had a hairy lip, and her name was, I can't think, Guadalupe.
You're saying that David McGee was motivated by greed. He was trying to extort money from your family. That's his motivation.
And these are a couple of years apart, folks, just so you understand.
You're saying.
I know that there was a demand for money in exchange for a commitment that he could make this investigation go away along with his co-conspirators. They even claimed to have specific connections inside the Biden White House. Now, I don't know if that's true. They were promising that Joe Biden would pardon me. Obviously, I don't need a pardon. I'm not seeking a pardon. I have not done anything improper or wrong. But what I am troubled by is the real motivation for all of this. You know, just tonight, Ted Lieu, a Democrat, is calling on me to be removed from the House Judiciary Committee. And I believe we are in an era of our politics now, Tucker, where people are smeared to try to take them out of the conversation.
But you know that the government of Israel was involved because this was an Israeli government official who was involved in this?
Yes, a person who, his name's Jake Novak. I think he currently works for Real America's Voice. And he sent text messages. What? Yeah. That's the name of the official. And he sent messages to Scott Adams saying that he was involved in this scheme that was later deemed a criminal scheme to shake down my family.
So what
based on
happened
these
to
false
him?
allegations. He got a television show.
It's the Jews, Liv.
Yeah.
The reason why Best Buy didn't give us the $100 off is because the Jews.
Yep.
The Jews hate me for telling the truth about the Jews. The positive things that I say, they're punishing me for doing that. So it's the way it is.
Yep.
It's always the Jews.
Always.
Matt Gaetz Yeah, it's not like they didn't literally have his PayPal and Venmo credit cards where he was transferring money to these young girls. It's not like we didn't see it. Was this guy diddling kids? I don't think so. Did he take girls over state lines who were underage or not legal in those states? I don't know. I wasn't there. But you resigning a day before the report comes out looks a little conspicuous, don't you think? It
does, slightly.
A little weird. And then when you're not going to be the attorney general, you're still a state representative and decide to resign because you know that you were going to be impeached. So it doesn't look too good for Matt Gaetz. And now you're changing your story. First, it was the Biden administration. Now it's the Jews. And why? Because you're grifting. Because you realize that your career dispensation, whatever. Can't even say that word. To dispensate. What the fuck? Why can't I say a word? Am I having a stroke?
No.
Dispensation?
I don't even know what word you're trying to say.
Dissipate. Dissipation. My career dissipation light is blinking. Having a stroke. And it's going away. You know it's going away. And so you're looking at your relevancy and you're like, God, how do I compete with Tucker and Candace and Stu Peters and Jake Shields and Nick Fuentes? I know. I'll hate Jews just like they do because I don't have any morals. Congratulations. Folks, that's all we got for tonight. Liv.
Yes.
What's going on for tomorrow?
You should show the kangaroo video just real quick. The 15-second video just to end on a hilarious note.
Yeah, that is pretty. Oh, you know what? And we got to do Pluto too. And then
show Pluto first.
Okay. That'll round us out.
Yes.
So, okay, there's some really cool stuff here. Folks, for the first time ever, you're going to see what Pluto looks like. Now, for all you people, we didn't go to the moon and there's no such thing. We've never left the blah, 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 and the Van Ryan belt and blah, Van Allen belt, and then think that we can't break our own atmosphere. Okay, whatever. I don't care. You people are idiots. You guys are idiots. But these are actual pictures of Pluto. Dissipate. I know. I fixed it, but I don't want to say dissipate. Dissipate. Yes. Once I broke it down and took out Asian, I got it. There. Sometimes it happens when you get the brain I do. Sometimes it's hard to find the areas that are recessed. Dissipate. Yes, that's what I said. Good show again tonight. Okay, so this is what happened. They launched this thing 9 years ago. So everyone's like, "There's no technology around that could do." Okay, I'm done talking to you. They launched this satellite 9 years ago. And the quality of the actual transfer of data is like Bluetooth. The overall speeds, they had to wait to download the data from this satellite back to Earth. I think it said it took them 2 years. That's how... Like, we had it 2 years ago, but the data just came in. Can you imagine that fucking download? I mean, you're just like, oh my God. I get that way on an email. I'm just like, why is this taking so long? Like those guys at NASA are just like, oh, this is like the DMV. And I believe it traveled 40 billion miles. 40 billion miles, folks. And now it's somewhere, because it's been 2 years, it's upwards of like 60 to 67 billion miles away. And it's just floating in space and it's bringing back data. It's sending data. It's just going to go and keep going, which is great. But here's the funny thing. It broke down like, I think 10 days before. And they had to synchronize when it was going to be on the horizon of Pluto, the range of the lens, and compute all of this back here. So at that very small window where they had literally like 32 seconds to take these pictures, if they would have missed, you can't just go back. This thing is literally being kept alive on solar energy, and it doesn't have thrusters, it doesn't have fuel, it's just going, so it can't stop. The only thing it's going to stop if it collides into something or something's gravity takes it over, right? So it's got a window of 32 seconds to angle the shot to make sure that its horizon is level with Pluto in focus to take this shot. You have no idea the math, and I don't know the idea either because there's no fucking way I could do it. But what I do know is it's incredible.
I wonder if it took pictures of other planets on its way
Nope.
to Pluto.
No, you can't do. No, because the planets aren't in a line. What people don't understand is they think the planets are 1, 2, 3. That's not the way they are. Planets are here, 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 here. They're all over the fucking place. They're on different lines. But when you look at it, you think it's all doing this, and it's all geosynchronously. It is geosynchronous, but they're doing this. That's the way it works. They're all at different levels. So, no. Because if you fly to Pluto, you're not going to go past the other planets. You are, but you would have to go up and then come down and then go over. That's the way it works. Okay. So it's being carried by inertia. It's, yes, solar wind. Of course, I'm sure that has some sort of effort to it, but not from that far away. Do we think that there's solar wind all the way to Pluto? I don't know the answer to that question. I would assume that that's way too far away. 40 billion miles away from the sun? Because solar wind it's not consistent. It's in a state of flux. So it's not a steady stream. It's not forever. It's flare, solar wind. Stops, comes back. So I don't know if that would be consistent enough. That's a whole nother question. Stop fucking distracting me, Thomas. So a few days before this, its window, it completely powered down. Like, it just lost communication. It just bricked. And they had to send the reboot commands and send all this other stuff. Yeah, sun is local, but 40 billion years and 40 billion miles and 40 billion miles. What you're saying is that there's no dissipation of energy from solar wind. It's not static. Solar wind would be radiation, would be heat, and ultimately would cool down over a period of time, no matter how hot the sun is. The question is does solar winds carry all the way to Pluto? I don't know the answer. I'm not saying it's not possible. I just don't know the answer to the fucking question. Liv, you got ChatGPT, look it up. Help me out. Do solar winds carry all the way to Pluto? So I understand the location of the sun versus size. I get all that. I understand what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying. Like a bonfire, you're 5 feet away versus 50 feet away. You can still feel the heat of the bonfire because it's local. I get that from a scientific standpoint. But what is locality? Is it I'm in the next town over and I'm having a bonfire and you expect to feel some sort of heat from that or carry some sort of energy from that? I don't know the answer to that question.
Yes. It does reach Pluto, but it's much weaker by the time it gets there.
That's what I thought. Okay, so would solar winds impact the early stages of a satellite travel? Sure, it would, but it would dissipate the energy. The overall productivity of the energy would devalue the further away from the sun it got. There we go. Okay, we got it. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So. Shut down, NASA had to reprogram. This is great. I'm so glad we did this. Then we'll do your video. Okay. Had to reprogram and reinitiate communication with this satellite just for this 32-second window to capture this. Oh God, this is amazing. This gives me a boner. This is like porn. This is science porn to me. I love this shit. Here's Pluto, folks. It looks like a fucking planet to me. Can Donald Trump write an executive order and call this Pluto? Can he call it Trump 1?
It's a planet. It's not a moon.
It's not a moon.
It's a planet.
All right, here we go.
Looks like ice.
There's no sound. It's really pissing. Yeah, yes, honey, it is ice. What an amazing thing, though. The fact that there's water on Pluto. And if there's, and you have to understand, there has to be chemical properties.
Are we sure that's ice, though?
It's ice.
Okay.
It's ice. What do you think it is?
Well, I mean, there are other crystal-like minerals out there.
Could it be salt?
Yeah, there are other crystal-like minerals out there that can look like ice, especially
very
with
very good point. Very good point, honey.
Amazing photograph, and it's black and white.
Very good point, honey. I do see that there are drifts from winds. I do see that there's different altitudes, and I see that there's been melt, because you can see that the formulation isn't just all rugged peaks. So this looks like ice, but it could be salt. Here's the rest of this. You could always Google it.
Yeah, where does that water come from?
Well, water comes from hydrogen, oxygen, 2 parts H2O. So 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, right?
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. So it has to have hydrogen and oxygen on the planet in order to create water.
Covered in multiple kinds of ice, not just one. Most abundant on the surface is nitrogen ice.
Okay.
It behaves like a glacier, slowly flowing across the surface. The large heart-shaped region seen in the images is a vast nitrogen ice plain.
Okay.
So
nitrogen, not hydrogen and oxygen.
It's a nitrogen ice glacier.
So there would be multiple types of ice. So there would be freon ice too, right?
Methane is also common. It gives Pluto its reddish tint and coats mountains and ridges.
When methane gets to a certain temperature, it does solidify to ice. What else?
Carbon monoxide ice exists as well, mixed in with the nitrogen ice. Water ice is present too, but it acts more like rock on Pluto because temperatures are so cold. The mountains on Pluto are made mostly of solid water ice and rise thousands of feet.
That would make sense why we see the peaks and valleys. Mm-hmm. So therefore, there is hydrogen and oxygen based. There's the water. There's water.
Which is crazy to think, how did water get on Pluto?
The same way, we just told you, the same way that nitrogen did too. I mean, you understand the planets were gases at one point, right? Mm-hmm. And those gases obviously sped up into a certain speed, and that created friction, and that created heat, and that created spontaneous combustion, which would be called plasma. Like, okay, let me explain it to you. I have water, right? What happens when I put water on a pot?
It's going to boil.
If I apply heat, it does. Okay. If I just put it into a pot, it doesn't.
Oh,
stop answering the question ahead of time. So I put water in a pot, what happens?
Nothing.
Right. It stays there, room temperature, the stability of water, right? This is our control. Then we go ahead and we add heat to it. What happens to it? Boils. Once it boils, how long will it boil?
While the heat's on it or until it evaporates?
Evaporates or dissipates. We're going to keep using that word. So evaporates, right? So it evaporates. What happens to that steam? It's a gas. What happens to it?
It goes back up into the atmosphere. As a gas.
Right. It goes back into the atmosphere and then ultimately does what?
It
turns
into condensation.
Nope. Turns into a solid, which is a cloud form, and freezes as it gets to a certain point of altitude. And then it obviously melts depending upon thermal winds and heat and turbulence and all that other shit. And then it comes back in its form of liquid, right? Okay. Now, what happens if we stop that process from taking place? What happens if we put it into a pot, like a pressure cooker? What's going to happen?
It's going to stay in there and it's not going to go anywhere unless there's a place for it to escape.
And that's called a what? When that happens, what's that called? It ain't good.
An explosion.
An explosion, right? That's right, because it can't contain the pressure, right?
Yeah.
But what happens with a pressure cooker?
Well, I've only used one for a little bit,
it's okay, but you know what happens. It stays because the structure of the pressure cooker cannot expand past the intensity that is inside of the pot. So therefore, it maintains its hold until you do what?
Let it go. Push a button and
release the pressure.
It.
Right. Okay. Now, what if you had something that you put water in that you would boil? Like, let's say it's a cylinder, a ball.
Okay.
And inside's hollow and there's water in it and you heat it up. What's going to happen to that ball? We just said it a second ago. It's going
to explode.
It's going to explode. But what happens if the structural integrity will always explode no matter what you do based upon how you heat that up, right? And there's just not a strong enough matter to hold it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's assume that we have some sort of 360-degree outside force that can hold that ball together no matter how hot you get it. What's going to happen to that water? It's going to turn into what?
It's going to evaporate.
It can't. The pressure and the containment, it won't allow it to. So what's it going to turn into? It's going to turn into another form. It's not going to turn into a solid. It's not going to turn into a liquid. It's not going to turn into a gas. It's going to turn into all three, which is known as?
I have no idea.
Plasma. So, and now if it turns into plasma and you superheat that, which means that you put the most immense amount of heat you can put on that fucking ball without it melting and losing its integrity, you're going to have what? Heat. That heat's going to have to go somewhere. Where's it going to go? It can't. It can't go because it's being pushed inside. So you're going to have plasma that's super
heated.
You're going to have superheated plasma. Now you understand the concepts of stars and how they're formed. So you have a bunch of gases out there floating with immense pressure coming down. And it's spinning and it's spinning and it's spinning. And then that solid is going to transfer its state from a gas, or excuse me, that gas is going to transfer its state to a solid. And that's how you get formations of planets. And it turns into a solid. It changes its molecular complexity to slow down, usually because it cools. But it gets really, really, really hot first. And then that's where you get the internal core temperature of the Earth. And all that pressure coming around Earth keeps that molten core intact. And it doesn't explode, but it does release upon occasion like a pressure cooker, which we call
volcanoes.
That's right. Now you're learning.
Go look up Deirdre Daly's comment.
But isn't this cool? Isn't that fucking amazing? I love science. I love it. But now you can understand how this happened. Is ultimately this planet, this moon or planet, however you want to say it, at one point was a gas. And then that gas turns into a solid in its state of flux. It's constantly changing and it's evolving in its scientific processes. These chemical processes eventually slow down and the core of that planet cools. And when that core of that planet cools, it eventually dies. And then becomes a floating rock. Now, Mars is an extremely hot planet because it's closest to the
sun.
And Pluto is a cold and frigid planet.
We're further...
But you know what I'm saying.
Mercury.
Excuse me, you're right. Mercury, comparable to Pluto.
Okay, yeah.
I was talking about positioning.
Oh, okay.
So, therefore, you have a very hot planet, but a dead planet. And then you have Pluto, which is a very cold planet, but a dead planet. And then you have Earth, which is just right. Consider it a three-bearer scenario.
Yeah. Deirdre Daly says, think illegals are in Pluto with all that ice.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So an interesting conversation. Mm-hmm. I think it is, you know what? I got to give you kudos. I didn't think about the other forms of ice. It's just not H2O. There are different forms of ice. You can get ice from Freon. You can get methane. You can get a hydrogen-based. It's very good. Methane or carbon dioxide based.
Heisenberg would have a blast on Pluto.
Well, Pluto is very interesting. I mean, Pluto is interesting, but even so, it is still ice. And because of it being ice, it still has burnable properties. So when you have ice, you have energy. It's interesting. Could Pluto, well, we got to get to Mars first. I mean, thinking about 40 billion miles away is like, if we can't get to Mars, fucking Pluto's a pipe dream because it's just going to get colder and colder and colder.
Yeah. Did you miss my comment or did you just blow
Which
it off?
one, baby?
I said Heisenberg would have a blast on Pluto.
Baby, I got it.
Okay.
But you also know that Heisenberg wasn't just Walter White. Heisenberg was a physicist.
I know that.
And that's pretty interesting because both of your jokes played at both
I
levels.
wasn't thinking of the scientist. I was
I
thinking
know, but it played at both levels. All right, let's show your
kangaroo video, and then we gotta go.
We do have to go. Oh, you know, I got to show this one too.
Okay,
they deserve a little bit of.
I gotta pee.
Okay, but they do deserve this. I mean, yes. They've been really good to us this year. We got to take care of people.
Little mini videos to watch.
So this is interesting. Yeah, the fourth state of matter, plasma. Yeah, it's very interesting. All right, so this is where computers are taking us. This is like a nanobot. If you don't know what nanobot is, just look it up. But this is what a computer can do. This is a quail egg. And it is going to literally skin the quail egg so delicately that it's not going to pierce the membrane. And it's going to keep it intact. And then it's going to sew sutures into it. This is what computers are now doing. This will blow your freaking mind away. No, this is not AI. It is picking the shell without destroying the membrane.
And then it picks it up.
And then it sews a suture into the air pocket, which it has to have. If you don't know what a reservoir is, look at a condom and you'll understand. The reservoir tip, it's important in all life. That way, it's not important. Just trust me. It's got a small pocket of air, and it is able to sew. Look at this.
It's crazy.
Can you imagine what this means for when we get to the human brain, certain parts of the brain that we can't reach because of some subdermal hematoma, there's pressure on the brain, or there's a growth, or there's a tumor that our modern day equipment can't. But could you send in a bot in 20 years that's roughly the size of a thumbtack or smaller, a tic tac, maybe a pinhead, that can do and remove or inject something, or inject a steroid, or do some sort of suture that will remove a vein or some sort of pathway to reduce the size of the tumor and not give it life supply of blood? This is coming.
Was it a soft-boiled egg?
No. No, because you saw the fluidity of it. Take a look. That's just a membrane sac. You can see, look at,
yeah.
It's not hard boiled. Now, it may be soft boiled. It doesn't matter. You guys, it doesn't matter. The technique of peeling, you can see it's fluid. This is soft. I mean, it could possibly be maybe a minute, maybe it doesn't matter. The point is that this tiny robotic device is incredible. So where are we going to be?
Yeah, it's got to be a soft-boiled egg, because there's no way that an
egg has a membrane. An egg does have a membrane. When you peel an egg, have you ever looked at the inside of an eggshell? There's a membrane there. It's a very thin membrane. So this looks like it is liquid. You understand that because the air pocket is right here.
Yeah.
Sorry. The air pocket is right there. See the air pocket?
Uh-huh.
So, and you can see the yolk. And see how it's see how bulbulous it is?
Yeah.
And it's free. Look at it. See when he squeezes it. That is like extremely soft boiled. I mean, like at some form, yes, it must be. It doesn't matter. It's not a hard boiled egg. It's soft boiled. Yeah. What they're trying to demonstrate is the inner lining of a heart or a kidney or a liver or a pancreas. They're trying to show you. And can you imagine? I want you to think about this. That's tiny, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what happens when they take that down 100 times? What if they could inject these into the bloodstream and they could do individual works on your cells? Do you think that we're that far away?
I don't know.
But imagine going after bone disease or going after leukemia or cancer inside the bone or the spinal column. You get spinal cancer, you're pretty much cooked. So there's a lot of cool things that this can do. It's interesting. You know what I mean? It's interesting. I'm amazed by it. All right, let's show your video and then we got to get the hell out of here. Yeah. I don't think we have any more donations either. So
no,
people are like, we got you there. We're leaving. Where is the damn thing?
I don't know. I saved it this morning, so.
Call it out when you see it, will you? You saved it this morning.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. The one thing I wanted to talk about today, we'll have to talk about Wednesday.
Oh, well,
that's a serious discussion.
Will you please remind me?
To happen on Monday or Wednesday.
What was the name of the video, baby?
It was, I don't remember the name.
Well, what was it?
It was just I wonder if you accidentally.
I don't know. I get busy. I'll find it.
If you can't, don't worry.
No, I'll find it. It's important. What was it, honey? Tell me what the video was.
It was the kangaroo costume in like a mall or something.
Kangaroo costume. It looks like porn. Ugh. See if we can find it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to show it. You were so excited to show it. It's
not super excited. I just thought it
was
freaking funny. Did you find it? Okay.
Found it. Oh.
We can't do music, but we can at least
can't
show it.
I can't do music. I got to turn it down.
This is freaking hilarious.
All right, here we go.
Wrong choice of costume, pretty much.
This is what Olivia wanted to show us. Here it is.
It's horrible. It's such a horrible, horrible costume. Whoever thought of that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's just not right.
Thought it was
probably
hilarious.
where all the Somalian kids go to. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. I had a good time tonight. It was fun. It's good to be back, and I think 2026 is gonna be a great year. You're really coming into your own. You're starting to see the forest through the trees. Thanks. We're gonna be out there in 2 minutes. Who scored? Drury. Okay. Want to say thank you. Want to say thank
popped
you.
To Joey.
We popped to Joey. Outstanding.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wanted Wednesday to be all about just talking about our favorite memories on the show and stuff, but there's something I really want to talk about. So
Wednesday's going to be great.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good show for you guys tonight. Or that night. We're going to have a good night for you tomorrow. And then that's New Year's Eve. We're not going to stay up till midnight. We're going to have a New Year's Eve show, and then we're done. Yeah. We're going to take New Year's off.
Hayden's having some friends over.
Yeah, so it's going to be crazy.
I got to make sure they don't burn the house
By the
down.
way, the Avs are 28-2-7. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys. Olivia's got to go. She's doing the pee-pee dance.
I have to pee.
Thanks for the donations. Thanks for taking care of us. We'll see you guys tomorrow and Wednesday. God bless. See you then. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow.
Night, y'all.
Adjusting transmitter output. This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.